Good morning, it's Miss Von Wald. You're really not going to see any more of me than this, but you're going to hear my voice. I thought it might be nice for you to learn how to make a pot of coffee. Maybe you want to make coffee, maybe you want to make coffee for your mom or your dad, maybe as a little surprise, especially now that we're home. So let me show you how you're going to do that, okay? I'm going to assume that they have a coffee maker. All right, here we go. Here's my coffee maker. I realized yesterday that this coffee maker is probably older than most of you. It's kind of a weird idea. I'm going to move it a little closer so you can see it a little better. All right, the first thing that you're going to do is you have to have a filter, right? We know that from our machine that we have at school. So I've got my filters right here. If you don't have filters, if you run out of filters, another thing that you can do is you can use paper towels, or you can use a napkin, like if you get a napkin from Burger King or something like that, you can fit it in there. You'll want to use, like if it's small like this, you would want to use two different paper towels. You just want it to be able to catch all of the grounds. You don't want those grounds going into your coffee. I promise you that. Okay, so I've got a coffee filter in there. I made sure that I just had one. Now, this is just for me, so I know how this machine goes, but my machine will take up to, it says 10 cups of coffee. Don't believe that. That's not, it doesn't give you 10 cups. If they are, they're like that big. Excuse me. I usually do mine to just above over 8 is how high I fill my water. So I'm going to go ahead and do that right now. When you fill up your coffee maker, you should always use cold water. If you set the coffee maker to cook in the morning, sometimes your coffee maker will turn on automatically in the morning or when you want it to. If that is the case, you have to just put in the water the night before, and it's not going to be fresh, but it's going to be. It's all right. It's better to have it waiting for you in the morning than it is to have it fresh, in my opinion. Okay, your biggest challenge to this whole thing of making coffee is going to be figuring out where you put the water in. So on mine, I know that mine goes in back here. Look for something that's a little vented, probably. I'll show you what that looks like. So see how it's got these vents? I would look for that. That's probably a good indication that that is where you pour the water. You might want to look and see, maybe there's going to be a little picture of some drops or something like that that would also indicate that's where you pour the water. Okay, this, I'm going to pour the water in. And it's kind of messy. You can see that it spills. That's just the nature of my coffee pot. And then remember I said that I go to about over 8. So I'm going to do that. I'm going to keep my eye on it. I don't know how well you can see this. I'll move this closer, but I've got a little water gauge on here, and you can see right now that the water gauge is saying that it's at a little bit over 6. So I'm just going to put a little bit more in because I want to do it at about 8. And the reason I'm going to be fairly precise about this is because I need to know how much coffee I'm putting in. Okay, so I'm a little bit high on that, but that's okay. I'm going to pour out the rest, put my cover on. This coffee pot or thing used to be a lot fancier when I first got it, but literally I think it's about 15 years old. So it might be older than some of you. All right, now here's my coffee. I know, because this is me, that when I'm going just over 8, I need to do something that's, when I'm putting in my coffee, it needs to be, and this is just my thing. So here I have a 1/8 cup. So I do heaping 1/8 cups, which means that they have the mountain on them. See the mountain? That's where I get the idea from. And because I went a little over where I usually do, I'm just literally going to put like just a little tiny bit in there. All right. So here's what I've got. I put the filter in. Never forget the filter. I promise you, you will have such a big mess. You never want to forget a filter. If you don't have a filter, you can use a paper towel. Not the greatest idea, but it'll work. Coffee. So remember, you guys, I just did 2 1/8, which is 2/8. I'm going to do a little math here. 1/8 plus 1/8 equals, anyone? That would equal 2/8, but we have to reduce that down. So 1/4. So I put in like a heaping 1/4 of a cup. Okay? That doesn't sound like enough, but that's what it says. So I'm double checking right now. Yep. So 1/8 plus 1/8 equals 2/8 equals 1/4 of a cup. So I put in 1/4 of a cup. You're gonna need to experiment a little, see how you like your coffee. Okay? I put in the nice fresh water, and then when I want to start it, I just hit that button, and it'll give me a fresh pot of coffee in about 5 minutes. All right. Thanks, guys. Now you can surprise someone.